Brayshaw takes a beauty.
That's it. I'm growing a beard this week.
Thank you. Time back on.
That's not crafting, what?
And welcome back, Gus and Gawny. I came with gusto on the welcome straight
Huge,
away.
and that set the tone. I'm matching you straight away, and going to be matched by our guest, I'm sure, who everyone can see by now.
Well, would it be under Sauce or under Oskar
so.
Baker? Can we get it?
We surely have creative control over the name.
Sauce.
Sauce it is. So
Yeah.
big
Is
Sauce.
he the most famous Sauce within Melbourne? Like Clayton doesn't get called Sauce.
We have a young Sauce coming through.
Sauce Merritt is the one that comes to my mind straight away. Who actually,
That's a
our
while
Sauce
back.
would probably a role model. Let's welcome in Oskar Baker.
Thanks for having me, boys. It's good to be here.
Yeah, so Sauce Merritt, your favourite player?
No, he wasn't.
Oh, wasn't he?
No.
Yeah, right. Who was your favourite?
Ed Langdon.
Jonathan
probably.
Brown was.
Jonathan
growing
Brown.
up.
That's like me being Richo. My favourite player is Richmond. I would know.
Who were the wingers back in the day?
Who were the wingers? Tim Notting?
In my era, it would have been like a Jack Redden maybe when he was at Brisbane.
Yeah,
Jack Redden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mitch Robinson is now.
No, he was later days. Hugh McLeod was a bit later as well.
Are they the wingers now?
Yeah, they are. Can confirm.
So we finally got a wingers club member in.
Yeah, that's big for me.
We've tried Vanders. We've tried Langers.
Oh, God knows we've tried Langers. But Sauce is, honestly, if I had to pick first out of the three of them, I'd probably pick Sauce.
I'm actually surprised it's taken this long to get me on.
Well, there's a backlog. There's a problem is when you get big, and you'll understand this, Sauce, one day, is when you get a little bit of momentum, get a bit big. There's a line of people. You get a list together, and we've got a special podcast today, the Pink Lady theme round.
Yes.
So we've gone straight to the top of the tree, and we've put everyone aside, and we can only pick Sauce. So here we are.
We'll get into BCNA and why it relates to Sauce a little bit later on. Let's
Sure.
start with Port Adelaide.
Yes, let's.
Sauce.
I'm flat. Sorry. Before
Okay,
I'm
sorry.
upset.
Yes.
And I'll tell you exactly why, Sauce. I'd be happy to tell you why. As a podcast, we're full of pride. We care about each other. We're carrying the flag. It's a movement, right?
We
got
haven't
momentum.
talked about this in our 2-minute
No, we haven't.
pre-meeting.
This is coming in hot.
Yeah.
And there was an opportunity for me on the weekend, Sauce, to really fly the flag for Maxi in the podcast. Now, obviously, everyone saw, there's no dancing around, the elephant in the room. Someone took Mark of the Year on Max. And Georgiadis. Good on you, mate.
I don't think it's better than Shy Bolton's personally.
Well, I tell you who's would have been better if I had taken it.
trampoline chest.
I had the Hilux in my hands on Scott Lysette. So I was like, stuff it. I'm going straight to the top. I'm going to take one on there, Ruckman. And I got up there, Kazali. And because I only had one eye. I mean, the camera can it's much better now. But at the time, I had one eye closed over. And I was trying to eyeball this thing flying in. I was a little bit oxygen deprived. It gets a little bit spacey up there. And we'll put the photo up, obviously, so everyone can see. And I was about to get redemption for you, for our podcast, for our dignity. And
So you're putting your hand up.
hands up in the air. Should have taken it and dropped it. So
That's not the first time someone's taken a hanger on you, is it?
No.
Liam Ryan?
The Liam Ryan mark goes down as one of the best I've seen. And I, to be fair, I didn't see it. I saw his boot.
yeah, fair call.
But no, I've gone back and watched it because I actually really like my effort in it.
Against Georgiades or
No, against
Ryan?
Liam Ryan.
Defensive
I
slide.
felt like I slid back, worked hard, and Bailey Fritsch let me down. And Jake Lever has done a Bailey Fritsch.
Against Georgiades.
He's let me down. He called me back. He's like, come back, Gawny, come back, bang.
Well, I've also let you down. I should have taken the mark and should have. Lucky I got myself a new
Good
Mazda.
photo.
Yeah, well, it's a great photo. If you forget about the footy, actually bounce.
Does it
the
look
photo.
like you've marked it, the photo?
It just looks like I'm calm and poised when in reality
He's up there.
I'm panicking.
The best thing about the mark, the lack thereof,
My one.
yes, is the fact that it didn't just bounce off your chest.
Yeah.
It cleared
rocketed.
the inner circle.
Yeah, it rocketed. It rocketed. You might see there's a stray fist that sort of comes in
There
on the
is
right
not
side.
a stray fist.
Well, the photo will vindicate me, I'm sure. You can see there's a fist coming. In any case, I probably should have marked it.
They do
So I'm
say if you
sorry.
don't mark it, halve it. So you've halved it.
I brought it to ground, sort of.
Thanks for your apology.
But I'm trying to help you. Opportunity was there and I missed out. So
Okay,
I'll
but
be
what
better.
we did do is we won.
We did. Good game as well.
Started relatively even.
Yeah.
I felt like we were on top, but the scoreboard didn't really reflect that at quarter time. I think we were up at quarter time, but good to not be down at quarter time.
Would be the first time in a while, wouldn't it?
Yeah, we touched that on the last podcast, Sauce, so we got to work on our first quarters. And I said I actually came out with a big statement, and said Port would be the best first quarter team in the comp. And I got some feedback on Twitter that they're clearly not.
Okay. Oh, so, yeah. Understood.
Someone let me know they're a good second quarter team, but their first quarters aren't great.
Deplorable.
Not deplorable. They're still top 8, but they're not
Okay.
down the bottom where we are. Christian Petrarca,
33 and 3. He joins the club.
Oh.
Yeah, I was 37 and 3 back
Yeah,
in my
but
day.
isn't the club
Adelaide.
35 and over?
Yeah, it is. Well, it's 37 and over. So Clary and I are in the 37 plus club.
And track got what?
Didn't quite get 33 and 3.
What's your best figures?
AFL.
AFL, senior footy.
AFL 21.
And 3? What did you do at the game at that time? 2.
That was 2. 2 goals. VFL 34
And
against Essendon.
kick one?
That's all right.
I don't kick goals anymore.
Yeah, I know. Well, you
It's
try.
disappointing.
You
I
try,
try
but
and
you
just
kick it
don't
to
kick
them in the
them.
goal square.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, stiff.
He did this amazing. We've got to get back to Port, but I just want to talk. He took 7 bounces on Kyle Dunkley the other day in the VFL.
Sauce, yeah.
And he ran all the way, forwards leading up at him, kick it to me, puts it down his mate Sauce Phillips for Essendon, puts it down his throat in the goal square, and I let him know.
See that.
Sauce, respect Sauce.
Look after
Get him in the game.
Got to keep each other in the game.
Speaking of sauce, it's such a sauce flavour.
You've lost me here.
We had a best on ground sauce, Harry Petty.
Oh, so geez, you've stripped it out of Track's hands and given it to.
Well, I'm
33 and 3 doesn't get it done for you.
I give it to
anymore.
a marking player every day of the week. I'm a fan of marking. I love marking.
See, I think it's Lingers was best on ground, but I just give it to wingers.
Was Lingers better than Jimmy Jordan?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
But Lingers is, that's a safe bet. Put it on
Lingers had your 3 votes before the game started.
Yeah. Anyway, so Harry Petty was good though.
Harry Petty was good.
Did I see some highlights on the Melbourne Instagram.
Yeah, there
page?
was. Bailey Fritsch kicked a ripping goal. Cozzy kicked 2 absolute rippers. I think he kicked 3 for the game, but I'm not sure his third was a ripper. Tommy and Brownie worked well. What were your thoughts watching that?
Looked very good, I reckon. Brownie contested really well.
Yeah.
Brought it to ground. Probably should have been paid a couple of marks there.
I thought
didn't get paid. He got his hands on. Yeah, he clunked one.
So-
Well and truly.
Are we going to talk about the umpire bias at Adelaide Oval?
I don't know, are we?
Well, Benny Brown's been stitched up a
Do
couple
you
of
want
marks.
to get our podcast stripped off the air?
Well, let's do it. We've got. Jeez, if they're at the MCG, I reckon they get paid marks.
I
Is
personally
that
don't want to
controversial?
talk about it.
You know what? That's a great point, Max. In hindsight, reflecting on it, the umpires did a great job, called it perfectly, and Benny Brown, I don't think deserved any of those marks, Sauce, because that's so far off the mark from you. That's a bad insight.
Oh, God.
Who
Anyway,
else played well?
we're on a 10-day break.
We are in the midst of one.
This is our first day back since Thursday for
Since
us.
we played the game.
Obviously, the VFL boys, which Sauce was a part of, trained Friday and played Saturday. Onto Hawthorn once again for the BCNA game, which we'll get into. But like I just alluded, there was a VFL game against Werribee. I went down and watched it, and Sauce was good, but once again, I like giving it to the marking players, my best on-ground votes. And Weeds and Majak were pretty special. Yep. And so was back-to-back victims for Austin Bradkey at fullback. Got Jesse Hogan last week, was bouncing around the walls in and around the club saying I beat the saviour, because that was Hogs' nickname.
Hogs back in the day.
Got Wiley Buzzer.
Hogue's probably the biggest scalp, but a scalp nonetheless from Buzzer. And I wonder if he's going to come in with that same attitude today. Maybe that's the key for him, having that bit of a swagger in his attitude, knowing that you can take down the big dogs.
But a quick little Werribee recap.
Yeah, I thought it was a great win. I think it was pretty close in the first half. And I think we just got on top in the second, grind away, and I think we ended up winning by 60 points in the end.
Massive,
yeah, in the end it was pretty big margin. But as you said, I
Corey
thought
Ellison.
Yeah, kicked 6.
Kicked 6. Had
Got a bit of a-
none at half time.
Had 4 touches or something at half time. Got a bit of a rev up from Coro at half time, and some bloke said they didn't even know he was playing in the first half. And he's just come out and kicked 6. So good on him.
There you go.
Benny Gibson's man Weeds kicked 3, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
Dev, fun fact, I was watching the game. Me and Benny Brown is the king of Werribee,
Rennie,
friend of the podcast.
good friend of ours.
We were sitting in the stand watching the game together, and he said, I've got one for you. And Wiley Buzzer looks a lot like Ben Brown.
Sure, with the hair.
He
obviously.
goes, Wiley Buzzer DM'd him on Instagram 3 years back and asked him for his North Melbourne kit because he was going as him to Mad Monday.
Did he give it to him?
Yes.
Huge result.
I've got 2 questions. One, that's very nice of Ben Brown. That's not a question, that's a statement. Like, he's invited Wiley Buzzer to come make fun of him, really.
Sure.
Second, surely Wiley Buzzer just buys some North Melbourne gear.
Well, yeah, that's a potential as well.
He was probably on an AFL list at the time, so he's not short a coin.
I'm sure he had a little bit. Geelong were paying him some sort of money.
Yeah, but if you're a wily buzzer, you're thinking, geez, this could be a good costume if I buy it, or it could be real special if I get the match worn number 50.
Number 50 on the back.
The socks that get rolled all the way up, like they're match worn socks.
So
it's a different level.
I've got a sneaky feeling Ben Brown's going to come as Wily Buzzer to our Monday this year, which will be all time.
In the Werribee kit.
They do look a lot alike, don't they?
Yeah.
How's his
It's
run
a
up?
good look like.
What's Buzz's run up like?
Well, Aussie didn't. We
A
didn't
lot
get to see
shorter.
it.
A lot short. Oh, we saw it once maybe?
Did he kick a goal?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, he might have had a shot though.
Shot and missed.
Yeah. Aussie wasn't on him
Aussie
then.
definitely
Yeah,
yeah, better on him.
Disco was on him then.
Disco.
Disco.
My boy.
I like Disco.
And he's a good man.
He can
Had
play.
dinner with him last night.
Did you
Yeah, mum.
At the
Mum brought
Brayshaw
young boys out.
residence.
Yeah.
talk to our mate Jacko?
Yeah, he was there as well.
How
Got
is
some
he?
great insights from Jacko.
How is he in terms of post apology?
Look, he's responded. I think what helps Jacko, and this is what we talked a bit last night about, because our mate, the other housemate, Riv, has been swallowed by the social media beast
Oh, hasn't he?
and didn't come to dinner last night. He was TikToking with his girlfriend or something and didn't come.
There's a few boys getting on TikTok.
Well,
It's
that's not
outrageous.
even. Don't start me
It's
sauce because it's
outrageous.
gonna outrage me. But
But you've done a TikTok.
never in my sweet life.
You've done a TikTok. Your
I
mini
denied
golf. Your mini golf in the backyard.
No. That was a open defiance of TikTok. We were told to do a TikTok. You told us to do a TikTok.
Not me.
Anders and I
Doesn't
said,
sound like something I'd do, Sauce.
If it's golf related, all good.
mate, it was a 45-second video of me playing golf in my backyard. Anyway, I digress. So Dogger said, and I quote something like along the lines of, I would just want to go off the grid, live off the social media grid in like a cabin in the woods or something. And I reckon I could do it. And I was like, I actually reckon Dogger probably could, if we're being honest.
I reckon he'd enjoy his own company
There's
more
a
than
little
anyone
dogger,
else.
little Dogger nugget.
Yeah, he was good again on the weekend, dog. All right, this week, Pink Lady
Yeah.
game.
Got a piece of paper you
Yeah, we do have a piece of paper. So those that are vodcasting, do you know vodcast is a thing? You can watch podcasts.
Can you?
Yeah, and people are quite interested in that. So those that are vodcasting will be able to see that all three of us are wearing the BCNA beanies, the pink beanies, which I've been told are $20.
Yep.
I haven't been
Don't
told
make
where
the
you can
joke.
get them though.
Oh, yep. Yeah.
I'm
don't know either.
presuming at the ground.
Have to be somewhere around.
And
the
then
ground.
obviously just be like look around the website, maybe
Potentially.
the BCNA website will have more details as well. But we have Source has been hit with BCNA within his family, and it's something that we all know. Obviously, when Source first got to the club, told us his story, and it's such a
powerful,
moving story. And those that do watch Oskar play would realise that he wears a black armband every single game he plays.
Do you reckon everyone would notice that? I don't think they would. That would be something a few people wouldn't potentially know, I don't reckon.
Have you had much about?
No, there's actually a few of the boys here that have only just started to pick up on it.
Yeah,
And
right.
I've been doing it for 4 years.
Well, I mean, yeah, the black armbands do come out a little bit, but Source would
Source always wears one.
he
for those
doubles
who
up
don't know.
if you double up if there's and that's because you promised your mum that you'd be playing AFL.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that you got here. Different story, mature age from Queensland, where no one gets drafted from.
Except for Braden Bruce.
not only Queensland, but like Brisbane. Like
Friend
that's
of
like
ours, Brucey. Yeah,
that's like
Brucey's-
that's like Brucey's Townsville, his country.
Yeah, fair call.
He's from Brisbane. Like
In the
how
city.
many more Brisbane players are there? Zorko,
And he's Gold Coast, I think.
Is he?
I think he's a Gold Coast boy.
Hipwood.
Sunshine Coast.
Yeah, see, I can't even
So
think
you're
of
the
it.
only
No real
Brisbane.
Nah, there's a few Brisbane.
Go on, who are they?
Well, my best mate, Connor McFadden, who's at the Lions.
Understood.
You've got me.
Yeah, two.
The Wagner boys.
Oh, the Wagner,
When they-
the Wagner
Wagner
boys,
boys.
the
Probably
Wagner
should've got
boys.
that.
They're from Hawaii, but
Yeah. So tell us a bit about your story, Source, if that's okay.
Yeah, so mum was first diagnosed with breast cancer in 2012 and beat it. Got through it for a couple of years. Did all the chemotherapy and pretty much escaped it. And then a couple of years later, we were actually on a family holiday in America, and she started to complain about some pain in her rib. She had back problems in the past, so we just thought it was back related, being away. And got back, did all the scans and stuff when we got back to Brisbane, and turned out that the cancer had come back and had turned into bone cancer. So then she did treatment for a year and a half, and unfortunately just started to get worse and worse. And in 2017, she sadly passed away.
so she beat breast cancer.
She beat breast cancer for 2 or so years, and then came back in the form of bone cancer.
What was so at the time? I'm presuming you were maybe 15 when she first got diagnosed.
Yeah, yep. I would have been
In
15.
around that
Yep.
age. How was that on the whole family when your mum initially was diagnosed?
Yeah, like obviously it was pretty devastating, but I was like 14 or 15. You're still pretty young.
Don't really know what it is,
I
do you?
didn't really
Yeah.
know it was happening. And yeah, you don't think too much of it. Obviously, I remember bawling my eyes out when I found out the news.
Yep.
But didn't really know it'd get to the extent it did in the end. But yeah, obviously it's not something you want to go through or you wish upon anyone.
And she was hospitalised.
Yeah, so had surgery, removed both breasts to get the cancer out,
Yep.
and then went through the chemotherapy. And as I said, was in the clear. Thought it was all good, and then came back a couple of years later, unfortunately.
Do you have many memories of being in hospital yourself?
Yeah, I do. I remember when she first got diagnosed, we were up there quite a bit.
Yeah.
It's not a great place to spend time. You don't want to spend too much time in
Chemo's
hospital, and
terrible as well.
chemo's. It's hard to watch when they start losing their hair and all that kind of stuff. It's pretty devastating to watch. And as I said, I wouldn't wish it upon anyone to go through it.
So this round in particular, supporting money for BCNA. We've been doing it for a while. I don't think we were able to do it last year, but it's been a great cause. So BCNA is a charity support the network around people going through breast cancer.
Yep.
So for someone that's experienced that, you obviously would know how important BCNA is and how important that that network is to be able to support people around breast cancer.
Yeah, I reckon it's an unbelievable cause. And I just urge as many people as possible to get behind it. I think it's a great round. I'm sure you boys love being a part of this round every year. Obviously, we couldn't do it last year because of the COVID situation, but I urge as many people to get to the ground, buy a beanie, get behind this cause, and jump on the Pink Lady website if you can, and buy your virtual spot in the Pink Lady. Obviously, we can't do it properly this year with the COVID situation, as I said, but if we can fill as many spots as we can with the virtual lady, that'd be awesome.
We're about halfway full as well. We're up to about waist high on the virtual lady. I think $50,000 raised so far. So we've got about halfway to go. Source, what I love, obviously, cancer's horrible, but I love what you've sort of said and alluded to was how you've turned it into motivation for you to really drive your footy career. So, I mean, if you can go into a bit about that, how you've used, obviously, something really terrible to spur you on to now play in an AFL club.
Yep. So I guess I didn't have the easiest, footy experience leading up to getting drafted. I was in the Brisbane Lions Academy and got cut. I was pretty short, and I was a pretty small kid growing up. Didn't really develop until later on. And when I had doubts about my football and not being able to make where I wanted to go, Mum was always that person that kind of urged me that I was, and I was good enough to get to where I wanted to. And she always, I guess, believed that I could get to the AFL and be a pretty good player. And I guess that was unbelievable to have her support. So I knew how much it meant to her. So when she was starting to get really sick, I kind of made a promise to her that I will make it to an AFL club and fulfill my dream. And obviously I wish she was able to see that, but I kind of just made the commitment to her that I would get there in the end. And I guess it's pretty cool that I've got here and I've made that promise.
100%. And you missed out on the draft, and then how many years did you have to wait before you got...
Yeah, so I was only a year after. So I was 19 when I got drafted.
Yep.
So the year after my draft year.
How was that year? Because my brother was the same. He missed out in his first time round and pretty hard, So
it was pretty funny. Like going into the 2017 season, I was even getting a game for Aspley in the NEAFL early on in the year. So I had no, ambition of getting drafted that year. That was the last thing on my mind. It was just getting a game at Aspley and trying to play the best footy I could. And then obviously Mum passed away mid-year, so that was another hurdle.
Yep.
And then I kind of just used it as motivation, strung a few games together, good games together, started talking to a few clubs, and it kind of just went from there. It kind of caught me by surprise in the end. It was kind of ridiculous in the end. I went from talking to Melbourne as the first club I spoke to, and then I think I spoke to about 14 clubs in the space of 3 weeks. So it was a bit of a whirlwind year, both emotionally and physically, obviously, with what happened. But it was pretty crazy.
And now you're in the Wingers Club.
Yeah, the Wingers Club. What a transition.
Unbelievable.
I think the way you have kept your mum's legacy going has been great to watch as a friend. And I think you, your sister and your dad all do it really well. And for those that haven't seen Oscar's debut, his dad's speech, it had the whole room in tears. And I think it's great, and I think your mum would be very proud. And I'm really excited and honoured to be able to play in a game like this because I know how much it helps your family and helps the families that are going through BCNA currently. For those that are touched by this story, you can buy your virtual place. So I think there's a limit on how much. I'm not sure how much you got to donate, but there's a limit to get into the virtual Field of Women. But you can go do it at pinkladymatch.com.au. And this year we have another ambassador, Trudy Rossman, which is Fraser's mum, who also has a story around BCNA as well. So it's a big.
It means
a
a lot
big
to our
game for
club,
us.
isn't it? Yeah. So we play Hawthorn. Obviously, it's going to be another good game, and hopefully, we can raise a heap of money and win the game and make you proud, Saucy boy. It's a great cause and a great story.
Can you potentially sit out this week so Sauce can come in?
I absolutely can. If that's what, we'll throw that to the podcast people at home, and if that's something you guys are interested in for the Wingers Club, I'll absolutely do it. Just to segue you towards the Wingers Club. What's your social media interaction like with Ed? Because he blocked me last week. We came out with that.
Ed doesn't even follow me on Instagram.
See, that really
Does he talk to you around the club?
Yeah, we
that
have
bit?
the odd conversation here and there. But yeah, I actually asked for a follow and he said, nah, we're not on that level yet.
Yeah.
What do you?
There we go.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not gonna let Langers
And he's
sidetrack
not.
me.
I'm not the only one he doesn't follow.
Hang on. Has he blocked you?
Half the group.
Has he hard blocked you? Yeah. Well,
No, he hasn't blocked me, but my followers there following him. He just doesn't follow me.
He does follow me.
We need an intervention. Well, he followed me long time before.
That makes me feel
Yeah,
better.
but then I didn't go for a week of harassing his Instagram.
Well,
like you did.
he gained followers from that, and that's what he wants. That's what he's in for. Sauce, again, another quick question before we leave. Golf.
Where are we going?
We'll leave I'm still talking about Sauce here.
Okay, yep.
You're a
plenty
keen
more
golfer.
Sauce.
You're a keen golfer. We're all three keen golfers in here.
Got the
Yep.
bug.
He's got the bug, and I think it's safe to say Sauce has got the bug.
When you have the bug, it's a pretty clear, showing that you get those binoculars that see how far away you are from the hole.
So that
And Sauce has that,
yeah.
but he doesn't know what club to hit.
Okay. Well,
Depending on
Sauce,
meter.
you played this morning. How'd you hit him?
I've knocked over 7 holes this morning.
How'd you hit him,
Funny
Sauce?
story.
Sorry, you played 7 holes.
There's a backstory.
Okay.
The backstory, Max.
Knew that I was coming on the podcast.
Sure.
Wanted to go to the driving range. Yarrabend's driving range doesn't apparently open till 10 a.m. on a Monday.
That's a joke.
Usually 7 a.m. every morning.
Missed opportunity.
So I've rocked up at 8 a.m.
Sleep in Mondays. Dogger Jackson works there.
Got up early, set my alarm for 7, got to the driving range. Driving range is closed. Well, I'm not going home. I've got a couple of hours to spare. 7 holes.
Out on the links.
Got
And how'd
myself
you
in
hit
a
him?
cart. 2 over through 7. Hit him decent.
How did you stop? You
Jeez, you're
quit.
sick.
You're
Surely
2
I'm
over
sorry.
for 7. You keep going, don't you?
I'm feeling ordinary today, boys. I can't come in. Surely that
Well
thought
and truly
came
got
through
the
your
bug.
mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you decided to.
I decided to come into the podcast.
That's good on you.
You allowed him to play at Royal.
Yeah. We've had the baptism of fire through the Royal Melbourne Crucible, and Sauce played really well. Tell you what, we can't bring this up just in case he's listening. I don't want. We got to the end of this. So Sauce and I played.
You going to bring it up?
There's this format where you you sign up put your name in the timesheet, and you put
Yes.
put a heap of like there's 24 blokes sign up. There's 6 timesheets available in this particular slot, and everyone puts their name in. And I put Sauce and myself in a time slot with no one else, thinking we'd just play the two of us because speed stuff, like we play quicker in the two and other bits and pieces. And we get there, and it turns out it's like a random draw. So everyone puts a ball in, and they just pull 4 balls out at random, and then you go out and play. And we were like, oh, geez, I didn't know that. I sort of sweet talked to Marshall, and he said, you two just go off and play now. These other 2 blokes who were in the same position didn't realise that it was a mixed up ball thing. They ended up running up and playing with us, and one of them was just on Sauce all day. I'm not going to name his name. Gets to the end of the round, and they're a couple of jokers from New South Wales, and they've given Sauce like exchange numbers with Sauce.
Stitched me up so hard.
I was like, they were like, oh, we'll get you boys up to, I can't remember their
Royal
course.
Sydney.
Royal Sydney boys, come on, we'll play. And I was like, yeah, here's Sauce's number.
Texting me flat stick.
Talking blokes all over
So you've got a new friend.
I've got a new friend. Thanks to Gus.
friend of the podcast. Jeez, it was funny. We actually played good golf that day, so we're probably
decent.
overdue for another round.
Absolutely.
How's your golf going?
So that's your story? That's your golf story?
With Sauce and I.
Yeah, it's a good story. My golf game.
How's it going?
Haven't played since couple of weeks actually.
In the teens yet, or are you still?
No,
hovering?
I still hold. Oh yeah, 19.
Point.
Yeah, no, I don't know the point. I don't.
19 point.
Yeah, I'm not that interested in the decimal point.
Okay.
I've been
Round
shooting. I haven't shot under 30 for a while.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah, which is good. So I've got a bit of consistency
Consistency.
going.
That's
We're
what you
due for a
want.
hit.
Yeah, we are due
Oh,
for
yeah,
a hit.
probably a podcast hit.
Maybe-
Who's our podcast for ball?
We need to get a sponsor that can
Clutch
help
and
us
Co.
in the Clutch and Co.
We've
Sorry,
already got
everyone else who
competitive.
was going to jump at the sponsors chance. We're actually going to touch up on our sponsors next week. Charlie Spargo is going to be our guest, and he has given us some advice regarding sponsors.
Yeah, we've got watch this sponsorship space because there's all sorts of stuff in the works. Max Gorn, you're off 20.3.
Oh, I must have
You've
blown
looked
out.
up.
Straight away.
I've blown
Straight on the
out.
Clubhouse app. Sponsorship.
I feel you. I've gone out as well.
Now,
What is your handicap? Sorry, just before we.
It's gone out to 15. It was 14 there for a bit.
you can't have binoculars if you're double figures.
Okay,
Is
I've
what I
got,
think.
I've got them.
Yeah, but you're single figures.
Well, I don't want to hit him between clubs.
The other day we did my and your top 10 movies.
Yep.
We thought it'd be a good exercise. Top 10 comedies. Hamish then came in and we sort of both looked at Hamish's list and said, yeah, that's better than both of ours.
Well, speak for yourself. Mine was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yours got a bit of Johnny English
I
whiplash.
got some Johnny English feedback.
Whiplash.
I got some massive leaving Step Brothers out feedback. But that doesn't bother me.
Bit of feedback
That's
from
whatever
Sauce
I
as
find
well.
funny. Yeah, well, so me and Sauce share number one. We have the same one. And I dare say his two is probably just the sequel because he loves the in-betweeners.
In-betwers. And not just the movies. Let it be known that you're a huge quota of the
So
of
it
the
initially-
TV show.
Back to front.
Sauce was in the initial conversation that we're all talking about it. So I want to hear his top 10.
Have you got one? You've been worded up. You've got
I
one
have.
prepared.
Well, as Max said, we do share the same number one.
Yeah.
Okay. So the
In-betweeners.
First, in-betweeners
In
one.
between is
Are we going 1 to 10?
See,
Go 10 to 2 now.
Well, on that, in between, I'm a fan of the seasons. I reckon they're better
Yeah,
than
the
the
TV
movies.
shows are...
If you haven't
Yeah,
seen
but-
the TV shows,
What? Do
there's no
yourself
point
a
watching
favour.
the movies.
But if you take out the 3 seasons, the movie's the best movie in the...
the first one,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Second one's still funny.
Second one's
Yeah.
funny. First one is...
yeah, hilarious.
Anyway,
Yep.
go on, Sauce.
What
What's
else?
number 10?
What else we talking?
Number 10.
Now we'll go from... Because
I don't
obviously...
actually think this is in any order. I've just got 10. down.
Okay, give us the
My
10.
top in-betweeners, American Pie.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, that's it.
That's 2 ticks to me.
Superbad's in there.
Yeah, tick.
3 ticks.
Wedding Crashes.
Yes,
You
tick.
had that, I
was a
didn't.
big Wedding Crashers guy.
40-Year-Old Virgin.
Wow.
Wow.
Is that...
That's
You got-
in my 10. I don't know what order I've put that in.
Okay.
Wow.
Dirty Grandpa.
Dirty
Oh, shit.
Sauce.
Get
out of here.
This is potty humour.
Hangover.
Yeah,
Yeah,
tick.
I was in both of ours.
Step Brothers.
Yep.
Knocked Up.
Okay. Yep.
Sim-
Seth
you've got a
Rogen.
little-
And then I've got Ted in there as well.
Oh, Ted.
Ted.
a bit of a different one. I
You
think
love a
it's
show
Ted.
about a teddy bear that can talk.
Well, Hamish said
Stiff.
something about liking
Team America.
trendsetters or like things that did the first.
Well, that wasn't. No, it
Is
wouldn't,
Ted
wouldn't
the
have
first
been.
one
No, it
where
wouldn't have
there's
been.
a actual human, and a like animated thing in the same. what would you
Jurassic Park.
say? Yeah, well, not a comedy.
Yeah, sorry.
Jurassic Park's pretty funny when the T-Rex shreds and all.
So that's a real modern day 10. Nothing made
nothing,
before
yeah.
2006
I
almost.
am only 23.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
But you still, I wasn't there when Faulty Towers first came out, and that's my favourite
True.
season of shows.
You like Faulty Towers, but you haven't put any Python in your top 10.
His Faulty Towers stuff's better than Python.
Oh.
His modern day stuff's bad. You seen Rat Race? That's as bad as it gets.
Anyway, that's an interesting 10. Probably a reflection of the times, really. We're getting
Yeah.
old, Max, aren't we?
Well, I'm 29. What are you?
25.
And what are you?
23.
There's not that much difference, really. 6 years.
So we're saying Sauce should potentially be better.
Yeah, well, no, Dirty Grandpa. That's from
you not happy
that's
with
the creators of Jackass. And
Yeah,
that's
Johnny
yeah,
Knoxville.
that's
Oh,
putty.
look, they were
Efron.
revolutionary in their own
Zac
right.
Efron. We're watching.
High School Musical in there as well.
I actually thought about putting Pitch Perfect in one of mine. I find
Great
Pitch
film.
Perfect hilarious.
Great film.
Yeah,
Great film.
Rebel Wilson. I'm a big Rebel Wilson man.
you go.
All right. Well, is that all our sourcing?
Well, yeah, Sauce. I think look, I've ticked off Wingers Club and bit of golf chat.
I got
so.
one last one for Sauce.
So you asked. Let's just be clear right now. You asked, is that it? For
Yeah, but
Sauce?
and then I was always
we're
going to
wrapping up
finish
afterwards.
with to talk about his hair because your hair's quite a popular thing amongst supporters, I'd say.
I don't know what you're talking about, Max.
Well, he's got
He's a rain.
unique hair.
Is that what you
But when he first got drafted,
Outrageous.
he had more unique hair than what he has. He had genuine long brown Goldilocks. Well, it wouldn't be Goldilocks because it'd be brown.
Sorry, you said
Red,
brown.
Red. Where was I then?
I still don't know what you're talking
Where's
about.
this going?
Yeah.
Anyway,
He's
we
going
had
over.
a tackling coach, Johnny Donahue, and he works in Melbourne Storm, and they're pretty brutal.
If JD's listening,
Yeah. So I'll set the scene just quickly for those that don't know what we do in our tackling sessions. It's basically we're army soldiers for 1 hour. We can't put our hands on our hips, can't put our hands on our knees, can't
no weakness.
talk back to Johnny Donahue, can't show any weakness.
Can't live, basically.
Can't live. You're not
Body
a human.
posture's great. We miss a tackle when you're basically doing 6 400s. Like it's crazy intensity for an hour. We got better. We got better at tackling. 2018, we had a great run.
Yeah.
But Sauce, in his first week, hadn't done much tackling practice, and Johnny Donahue saw the long, got red hair as a sign of weakness.
Didn't he just?
You weren't best friends, were you?
Let me know about it.
2 weeks later, haircut.
Oh, you didn't.
Wasn't really a haircut, though.
Yeah, but
Trim the fringe.
was it because of the pressure that Johnny Donahue gave to you every single session?
Yes. I was wearing a headband at the time, and I still was adjusting my hair.
Yeah.
And he just hated me.
Oh,
You actually
didn't he?
became. Did
He
it become a
hated
bit
me.
of a friendship later, or you
No.
never really? Yeah.
No, never.
It was fake. It was a fake friendship, if anything.
Yeah. Mate, he was big on, like, if you got injured, you had to get back up and keep going. Sauce actually, like, was it rolled ankle? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, Sauce actually rolled his ankle and, like, was out of
Bad
training for a
blew
couple of
up.
weeks. And
I
Johnny
trained
Donahue was
in a
like,
cricket
pain to
get
keep
back in,
going."
mate.
Yeah.
Get back in
I
right
trained
now.
in a cricket thigh guard once for one of those sessions because I had such a big corky, like it went through my muscle into my nervous like system and went that deep, and I couldn't like feel my leg all week. And Dave Misso now, he bought in one because he used to work for Cricket Australia. This huge thigh pad, and I was running around putting blokes on a shoulder with looking like a goose. Sauce.
I'm
Jeez.
glad we got that out. All right. Thanks, Sauce, for coming in.
Yeah, thanks for
Thanks,
sharing your
boys.
story as well.
Yeah, thanks for sharing your story. And for once again, if you want to donate, go to pinkladymatch.com.au and get in their virtual Field of Women.
Thanks to our co-principal partner and podcast sponsor, Zurich Insurance. For over 100 years, they've been insuring the people and things you truly love. And just like you, they truly love footy and they truly love the D's.
All right, welcome back. We're going to thank our sponsors potentially for the last time, Angus, because Charlie Spargo is going to come in next week and
He's
just
going to revolutionise it.
revolutionise the sponsors. What will stay is Oliver Locke.
Yeah, fresh gone. If
Fresh.
you buy 20
We didn't
scones,
tell
get one
Oscar,
free.
but he is going to get a slice of hedgehog for coming in.
Yep, and if you go to Olive Unlock and buy 25 scones, you get 10% off the 26th scone. So that's there as well for anyone who wants to go down.
And just quickly, our great friends at Clutch & Co. East End Wine Bar Squash.
Barbie Onions, Bailey Fritsch Electrical, Fat Nut Customs.
Bailey Fritsch Electrical.
Yeah,
Beautiful. All
Fat
right.
Nut Customs as well, don't forget
It's
them.
time for this segment.
Benny Gibson.
He's got the news.
Got the news.
He's got the
I think
news.
that's how it goes.
We had a nightmare with that.
Good to be here. I think Gawny's got the news this week, so we're going to start straight away. I got a text at 7:32 p.m. on Saturday night from my brother-in-law,
Oh, lucky you didn't get the 11 p.m. one.
and
True.
he said, just met Gawny. And there's nothing worse, really, than when someone says, I've name-dropped you to someone. Like, I know that Max Gawn does not care that my brother-in-law is in his wine
It
bar.
started interesting. So
Probably
brother-in-law,
works in
we
reverse.
ended up having a great chat.
I don't know this story at all. I haven't spoken to them
Okay.
since, and I haven't spoken to Gawny about it either.
We
So
ended
I'm
up having
hearing
a
this.
great chat.
Is he a good fella?
Yeah, it was about
Do
four.
you like him, Gibbo?
I do like him. I used to.
Is that
Not-
it?
Not now.
I understood.
Yeah.
It was about 4 or 5 of us in a circle. It was quite fun.
At the wine bar.
But initially, he came in to my posse, and he goes, tap me on the shoulder, and goes,
That's a bad
"Hey,
start.
mate, I'm Benny Gibson's brother-in-law."
Did you tell him to?
So
Nah,
it,
can't say that.
from a bad start to
Worse.
no,
Get out.
no,
Front door's over there,
no. And he goes, but he asked, he goes, "Can I get a photo? But not now, later," which I thought was an interesting. And then we end up never getting the photo.
Well, at 11:04, a photo
That's what
came
you
through
think.
of you with your arm around my sister.
Wow.
Well, then I got to meet his wife. Wife?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then I got to meet his
Mother-in-law
wife,
makes-
which is
yep.
Ben's sister.
Yep. That checks out.
And no, we had a great chat about Ben.
She your older sister or younger sister?
Older.
Okay.
We talked about the Weebley.
Yep. I bet you did. How could you not?
How could we not? And yeah, I mean, thank you. They were there for a 30th. The 30th were very well behaved, and we had a great night at our friends East End Wine Bar.
Good friends of ours. Gibbo.
We talked about you a lot.
Yeah, that worries me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At what point? I mean, geez, surely did you know they were going there, or was this?
No, I had no idea.
Okay. So
Like, it's not. We don't talk every day. So yeah, it was,
Okay,
it was,
and
it
you don't
wasn't
know
a good
what they-
text to receive. I don't know what has been spoken about.
What
11:06.
was said needs to be kept between the three of us, me and obviously Gibbo's sister and the brother-in-law.
do you remember their names?
That's why I said Gibbo's sister and the brother-in-law. So you've
Yep.
dogged me there.
Just checking.
At 11:06, Max sent me a selfie with them.
So you did get the
That came
photo.
through.
I
How
took
were
a
you
selfie.
going that
yes,
night?
that's right. I took a selfie and sent it to you. Yeah,
You had a good night.
that's right. So obviously we were hitting it off
Yeah.
as a three, and I left before them.
Right.
So big night for them.
Yeah. Well, I'd just like to apologise on their behalf. Anything they said, I do not stand for.
No, I love the Gibson family. There you go.
That's so. That's a change in tack. So maybe they did some good work for you, Gibbo.
Oh.
Have you considered that possibility?
I probably can't get much lower in Max Gorn's hole that I've created. So
That's disappointing. That's Angus. You're low in Angus's. You're not low in
No,
mine.
no. Gibbo is high in mine.
He's high in mine.
Don't put words in my mouth.
Okay.
all right. So we're going to talk.
You stitched me up with the names.
Well,
so I
you've
was
said it
coming
3
at
or
you
4
then.
times, and I'm
Yeah.
just wondering.
What are their names?
Luke and Amber.
Even I knew that.
I don't remember Amber.
They did owe me
I
one.
don't remember the name Amber. I remember Luke.
I stitched them up at their wedding. I did like a roaming Gibson.
I did tell
Oh,
you.
of course he did.
And so yeah, stitched them right up. So they probably had one coming. We want to talk a little bit of sports news.
Yeah, what's in the news?
Not so much AFL this week. It's all international sport.
Yeah.
Either of you soccer fans?
Yeah, I
Well,
saw
I
the penalty.
have realised that the tech behind our behind our podcast
Stefan.
is a little bit sloppy this morning
Hmm.
because
Croaky voice.
Stefan has been on Lygon Street and has been there since all hours of the morning. Italia, hey?
Giro d'Italia.
No, that's a cycling race.
Sorry.
Italy won the Euros this morning in a
Penalties.
penalty shootout. England missed 3 penalties.
Donnarumma made some good saves for those watching. He's going to really I think he's playing at a PSG. He changed clubs this year, so a bit of pressure on him, corporate pressure from above, and he's really stepped up.
I'm a massive Jordan Pickford man because he
shouldn't
originally
be, 'cause he's no good.
was in my club, Sunderland.
Oh, yeah, Sunderland till I die.
He's a Sunderland boy. So is Henderson. So there's 2 Sunderland boys that are out there. Obviously no longer at Sunderland because they're in Div 3. But I was on the England wagon. I was
I think last podcast you said you wanted them to lose.
because
Can we get that clip where Gawny said, I want England to lose?
I
Anyone
want
but
them to
England?
lose to Denmark,
Okay.
but I want them to beat Italy. That's allowed.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Italy were part of the Axis of Evil in World War II. Fun fact. So that's all right. Yeah,
Who was their governor who led them into a war in 1917? That was your question to me last week.
it was German generals.
Other sports news overnight: Djokovic, number 20. He took Wimbledon,
Equal with
Federer and
that's
Nadal.
interesting. He
And
has to win one
he-
more, doesn't he?
Oh, he'll win plenty. I'd say.
What's your humble opinion? Is he the best?
Well, based on stats, I would say he will end up being the best.
But-
There's an interesting ad. Rolex have got an ad with Federer. I'm not sure if you've watched any of the tennis, but it pretty much says Federer will not end up winning the most, but we don't care. He's the GOAT.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably most people's.
Call me old fashioned. I'm a Rod
consensus.
Laver guy. He's never
That
going to
is
get
old
past.
fashioned.
Where's the Roger Federer arena?
You are not a Rod Laver guy.
How many arenas does Federer have named after him?
He's got a whole clothing line.
Oh well, mate, we've got a whole clothing line.
Good
What are you
point.
talking about?
Good point.
Ash Barty, of course,
Yeah.
won her.
Ash Barty's
second
one of the best
Grand
news
Slam.
stories for Australia for a long time.
Yeah.
Winning Wimbledon, winning French Open last year. US and Oz, the next 2 Opens, they're both ones that have gotten away from her. So hopefully an Olympic gold. Am I starting to put too much expectations on Ash? I remember.
You dare.
I remember-
She's listening. I know she's listening somewhere. Ash, no expectation from us.
Well,
You
my
just go out
first
and
couple
play
of
your game.
years, she used to obviously play tennis across the road. That's where she trained, and she used to just come in and at Edwin's, which is the cafe just outside here. She'd be having a coffee and a sandwich, just sitting next to us like nothing. Now, if that was happening, I'd be getting a photo, getting an autograph. She's a star.
Are you on speak? You never spoke to her back in the day, or
Well, she goes for Richmond. She didn't like us.
okay,
Um,
fair enough.
I like her.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Friend of, potential friend.
Oh yeah, we get that.
Should we put the feelers out?
we get Ash Barty.
We'll put the feelers out.
I do want Kyrgios. I'm a big Kyrgios man.
Well, good weekend for the Aussies in terms of tennis, not so much for the cricket. Not sure if you caught that. 2 T20s to the West Indies. They've went down in.
I wasn't planning on watching them, but when I heard they were losing, I tuned in.
You're a massive Kiwi.
You wouldn't have had much time to tune into the first one because it all happened in about 15 minutes.
that was crazy.
Missed out on that one. Tell me what happened.
I lost 7 for 30
They
odd.
needed
Wow.
they needed 20 or 40 or something and lost with 6 wickets in hand. It was crazy. I'm a big Matty Wade man. Cousins of Jeremy Howe. Had multiple. I was about to say multiple beers with him, but I don't think I've actually had a beer with him because at Howie's wedding he was actually going through Boxing Day tests, so it wasn't ideal for him. He wasn't drinking.
There you go.
That's what he told me to say.
Sure.
But he's looking out of form maybe at the top of the order. Well, I don't know about
A
Australia.
few holes in the side. Dan Christian, 39.
They've worked out that Mitch Stark going for the glory ball every time isn't actually ideal for
Well,
2020.
I don't think you need to be that quick to play international cricket.
No.
And because you can bowl 150 Ks.
I could play.
It's not scaring the opening batsman in international
It wouldn't
cricket.
scare you, would it?
Oh, I think it would, but I don't play international cricket.
No, but
Yeah,
like
that's
Weeds, who's quick, that doesn't scare you, does it?
No.
Yeah, you just whip him off your hips.
Yeah, with a tennis ball.
Yeah.
Weed scares me.
Weeds.
I've got no shame in that.
In terms of actual AFL news, so injury news, Fraser Rossman went off for Casey with a bit of a tight hamstring. Hopefully that's not too bad. So they're going to see how he goes at training this week.
No scan.
I don't have the results of that. Early days.
Yep.
Deacon Smith had a rest, so hopefully he'll be back next week. Nathan Jones and Mitch Brown, potentially 1 to 2 more on the sidelines for those two.
Yep.
So that's all I've really got.
We're injury free, Port Adelaide game.
Injury free out of that one.
Vanders popped his own dislocated finger back in.
Vanders is hilarious. Every time he came off, he was in the physio's hands. He must have.
He was in the
He must be a
wars.
sore man.
That's what happens when you play inside and get bashed around, I guess.
Probably the
Popped his
major.
own finger back in. Let me get that out there again. It was out, and he's like,
I sort of
"Nah,
waved.
stuff this."
I breezed over that, didn't I?
You did.
Sorry.
Anyway,
Probably the major AFL news is the Sydney lockdown. So borders are closed. GWS Sydney hubbing here. Sydney probably don't mind that because they are playing some good football, but
They're going to ask for every game of GHMBA. GHMBA.
not a podcast
GM,
sponsor.
HBA.
Skilled stadium.
Yeah, Cardinia Park.
Sorry. Just choked on my words.
That's okay. Get him out.
And they also played well at Marvel yesterday against Doggies. Put us back at the top of the ladder.
Play
Thank
where
you,
they
Sydney.
want. Yeah, cheers, Sydney.
We're not scheduled to go to Sydney anyway, unless finals potentially happens that way. We might have to go to Sydney at some point, but whoa,
You reckon?
if we lose our next 6 and Sydney win their next 6,
All right, Max.
well, I'm saying that is it a possibility?
Get some positive lingers in here.
Is it a possibility?
Oh, no.
Okay, sorry, not a possibility. We need to go to Sydney at all this year, Ben.
Ever.
So
great.
that's done.
That's good. One place we're meant to go to Metricon. That's changed. I'm not
And we
actually
can still
sure
go to
why they
Metricon.
changed it.
Yeah.
But
Well,
we're going to Darwin.
both teams missed out on their NT game this year,
Yeah.
so I see a little
Makes
bit
sense.
of that. Do you know that? So Nathan Jones has played the most TIO games out of anyone ever, AFL, and Gawn, McDonald, Jeddah a second.
How far is the gap?
Nah, Jones is on like 9 or 10, and we're on like 7 or 8.
So you're going to catch him soon.
So it's our home ground.
You're 7. We've played 10 in our time there. We've won 4 of them. So a little bit of a home advantage potentially.
Yeah, I
You
remember.
played there 3 times, Gus?
Yeah, I can't remember one. Got poleaxed in the first minute. Jared Wellingham jumped into me.
Did he?
Yeah, Stanners and I went to the hospital.
Did you? Were you able to fly?
Yeah. Oh, I flew home.
I don't remember that.
I
You're
was-
bad at getting stuff done real early in games.
Yeah, that was 20 seconds in my eye.
Yeah, 20 seconds in, you gave away a free kick, or gave away the momentum,
My mum reckons it was a
and
free
hurt
kick
your
for
eye.
me, but whatever.
Yeah, so did a few Melbourne players. They started running the other way.
Jeez. Anyway, let's not talk about the umpires, Max. Don't do it.
What were your thoughts?
My thoughts on the eye, it hurt. Closed over pretty quickly.
Yeah, that was phenomenal. And James Harms had a bit of a head injury as well. He had,
He had a little nugget.
he had a neg on his
popped
head.
up here, yeah. Anyway, that's not really news.
But the COVID story is
How do we
news.
feel about that as a podcast? Because we've been on the receiving end of a few lockdowns. Sydney have been looking down on us potentially, or are we willing
Well,
to take
to be
that?
fair, so everyone says Sydney and GWS did move from Sydney as well last year. Sydney eventually weren't playing games there,
Sure.
and they
We
were.
went there for 2 weeks and then had
Yeah,
to.
they both did the Perth hub, and Sydney were up in Cairns with us at some point. So, they've obviously went through it last year. I hope they can get their families down, the guys who want their families down. Thank you for keeping the competition going. We need teams sometimes to be able to play in hubs, and I know no one wants to call it a hub, but I think it is this year.
Looks like one.
I was talking more Vic, New South Wales, bit of tribal feeling in there.
Mine's more with SA at the moment.
Understood.
Although they did let us in, and they had 2 great days there.
City
Just
churches.
gone. And WA. I've got a bit of rivalry with WA as well. I just want State of Origin, Angus.
The only other thing I want to mention is that we're about 400 members shy of an all-time club membership record.
All right, well, we'll sort that out
Footy Club,
instantly.
so
400 people sign up right now.
pretty much with a fair few followers of the podcast.
Can we get a code in there?
Yeah.
Let's say they type in Gus and Gawny.
You get 2% off.
They
Surely
get-
we can do 2% for the people to get our all-time record.
They get $1 off.
I'll see what I can do.
You see what we can do?
Yeah.
Okay. Can we get the code word to be #SparGordon?
No, I reckon it's got to be something about. Well, so my bias would lean towards positive lingers.
Yeah.
That seems to be our catch cry. But I'm happy to.
But from the judging of the room, is it's not going to happen.
Yeah, well, I mean, and by the way, how serious can we be about getting our record if we're not prepared to put like $1 on the line?
Okay, no one in here is in charge of that.
Gee whiz. Politics, Max. Politics gets to me. The politics of this whole thing.
Anything else?
Or potentially next week. So Kay Chandler wants another crack at
Does
telling the news. He does. And so I said, all right, if you can beat me at a goal kicking comp, I'll give you a week on the podcast. So
Has he?
Is that today?
Tomorrow at Casey.
Yep.
We'll get the cameras out, film that one. Yeah, sweet.
Potentially might not be here
Boots?
next week. Yeah, I'll bring the boots there.
What are you wearing?
New Balance. Sponsor of the
Well
club.
done. Oh, yeah, they're not a sponsor.
Have
of
to
the podcast.
sponsor. Friends
but
of ours.
I went for a kick once after training, and Kay Chandler laughed at me because they just covered in mud. It's like, well, I go for a kick at Bayswater footy ground, not Casey.
What sort
Fields
of
and
footy are you going to
Squashes.
use? The old footy that you've had since you're 9?
Yeah,
or
well, I'm not used to ones with leather on them, so we'll see how we go. But hopefully, I'll see you next week.
That'll be interesting. We might get Kate in just to recap that next
I
week. But
think
we
we're
got
probably gonna have to
we got a
debrief.
massive one with Sparks coming up. We asked him 4 weeks ago and he said yes, but obviously with the demand of Charlie Spargo, we've had to wait. Thanks, Gibbo. You were good.
Thank you. Apologies for the sister once again.
No. It was a great night. And for those, once again, that didn't hear, pinkladymatch.com.au. Gus and Gawny are going to donate.
We got the podcast will make a place in the. We're going to get into the Pink Lady. I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
I don't know how much of these. And here's the good news, Max. All virtual places are a direct donation and therefore tax deductible. So hopefully that gets a few more people on board.
Well done.
There you go.
See you next week. And yeah, just finally.
It's remiss of us. Sorry, we can't just act like nothing. We've missed out on a pretty big.
Yeah, we got to talk keep cups.
We do positively.
which is your little child, the keep cups.
Yep, it's up and going.
Are you proud of how it's going?
Super proud.
What number you got?
With me. I'm number, I think 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely number 2.
I
You're
think
number
I'm-
3.
Yeah, and what are you?
4.
4.
Which
Yeah.
is a joke.
Makes sense.
Thievery. Communist attitude.
We got 10 more winners.
We do, and they look like pretty simple names to
Okay.
pronounce.
I would give them to you, but I feel like I'm going well.
So yeah, do you want to talk about Emily first?
So Emily,
Which is everyone will remember.
I like the feedback I get on Twitter and keep it coming.
Feedback for everyone, Twitter and Instagram.
Emily didn't tweet me after the first week of butchering it, but she tweeted me after I mentioned it as Emily again. Her name's Emily, just spelt differently.
So I think here's my thought, my 2 cents. I know no one asked me, but I reckon Emily probably at this point is just going to stick.
Yeah.
And if she ever comes in or we ever meet her, that's what I'll call her.
She is now Emily.
You know, that's a nickname. That's your nickname from now on, and I'm really sorry about that, but that's the way it's going to be.
So let's hope no one else gets a nickname that's nowhere near their name.
It looks you look safe today. There is one that I'm interested. I've earmarked one.
Competition remains open. Make sure you enter the win. There's
20
only 20
left.
cups to remain. We got Lachlan Gibb,
That's tick.
Charlie Timlock,
Easy.
Lockie, Sophie Thompson on your Tomo,
Can't get that one wrong.
Jackie Lou,
Yep.
Lauren Lockhart.
Related to J Lockhart?
There is a Lockhart family that is also diehard Melbourne supporters. James Lockhart helps out with a property on game day, so it could be related to them as well.
Could be.
Gary Ashton,
Uh-huh.
Jenna Hoppe,
This is the one I marked. Look at that.
Hoppy. Once again, I know this family as well. It's Hoppy.
This is the one I marked down.
How would
Hoppy.
you say?
You're
It is
locking in
definitely Hoppy.
Well,
I know this
potentially-
family.
Is it Jenna? Is one of the P's silent? Is it Jenna Hope?
No, it's Hoppy.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
What'd you say first? Hoppe.
Yeah, well, Italy won this morning, you know.
Italy. Okay, so Jenna Hoppy, Hope,
Gerard Shirley, Belinda Webster, and Jimmy Glenn.
Congrats all of you, especially Hoppe.
Hoppy.
I knew that was going to happen. But that's great news.
All right.
So congrats on winning your cups. More details to come. You'll get your emails soon, and congratulations.
Hooroo.